Hi, you're again with Volleyball Explained Podcast. Here I am Bogdan, Ronnie, and Nicola, and we are here talking about the Italian League and the Champions League as normally in the last several podcasts. In this edition of the podcast, we are going to comment on the semifinals in the Champions League men and women, the CEV Cup Final in men, the Challenge Cup Final in men also, which has been played this week, and also, of course, our main task in principle, talking about the Italian League and the quarterfinal playoffs that have been played in the last several weeks. But today we're going to start with the Champions League and the final, the so-called super final that has been created, established there between the teams of Trento and ZAKSA. And we talked internally about it, but I believe that the matchup between Zenit and ZAKSA created a lot of volleyball in high quality and a lot of drama. And I would prefer to start with that one. Both matches ended 3-2, ended in tiebreak, but at the end, ZAKSA won in a golden set, winning 15-13, the golden set. But sometimes these numbers lie. I mean, the clear fact here is that not only it was drama, but it was also a very high quality volleyball, at least in my perspective. The first match started 2-0 for Zenit. Then in the third set, they had a match point. They had a free ball for a match point. And I believe that the middle blocker of Zenit, Volvic, was blocked by one of the middles of ZAKSA. So ZAKSA started a comeback and they won eventually 3-2. In the second match, it was very similar, but this time Zenit succeeded in winning 3-2 after ZAKSA. I believe they missed 7 match points in the fourth and in the fifth set. They had a clear opportunity in the fourth set with Voronkov making a single block against the opposite of ZAKSA, Lukasz Kaczmarek. Very similar things happened also in the tiebreak, but at the end, ZAKSA succeeded in qualifying for the final. So what do you think about this performance of ZAKSA, and is it a surprise taking into account what they've done against LUBE?
I will prefer Nicola speak first.
Well, if we look at what we said at the beginning of the brackets when you looked at it, and ZAKSA probably was the third favorite in the upper side of the bracket after LUBE and Zenit, but at the end they showed they deserved the final with 2 strong performances, and especially both in the first leg when you say they were recovering by being 2 sets down in Russia, but especially I think in the second leg when after they wasted so many opportunities to close it in the regular game, they've been able to regroup and to win the golden set. That's more a matter of, I can say, mental strength than technical, because after what was 2.5 hours of playing, we know that the how could I say, the percentage of technique and mental strength are both equal when it comes down to winning a point. So I'm really looking forward to the super final to see how Trento could adapt to that team. And based on what I've seen, I actually didn't watch the whole game because, of course, Trento were playing. I watched it later, and then the highlights, and they look like a team that they rarely don't know what to do, both in defense and both in attack. They could find a lot of solution, and even in a game where Mikhailov, especially in the second leg, played very well, and with Ngapet doing the Ngapet things that he does almost every time, they've been able to successfully go to the final. So yeah, I mean, I'm more concerned. I was more concerned on the other side of the bracket, of course, but ZAKSA at the end. If you reach the final beating LUBE and Zenit, there's no way you haven't deserved it. So that's my take.
Do you think that ZAKSA have more defensive settlement than Trentino has?
How could I say it? It has more efficiency, maybe. They cover the court very well. I mean, Zatorsky is definitely better than Rossini. It's also younger, so it matters at some level. But a game is a game. Everything could happen in one game. If it would be a two-legged game, like the semifinals or the final in the CEV Cup or Challenge Cup, it would be different. But we'll see in Verona what is going to happen. So let's hope the defense less they have. Actually,
I really think that this is the best Polish club assembled from the two ones that in the past reached the final. We are talking about, of course, that Eskravel Hatov from Kurek and company. And then we have the Aseko Resovia, who was the first victim of Wilfredo Leon back in 2014. I think it was the first final that Wilfredo won. So
yeah.
It's a team very very compact. I knew they could do some damage because Poland is a decent league in terms of level, and the Polish players has a great quality that had been developed over the years, and it is funny because the leaders of this team are all Polish. We are talking about Sligwa, of course, Semeniuk, and Kaczmarek, the three corner men of ZAKSA. And of course, you have Toniuti, which is a decent setter. And David Smith is a good middle blocker. I believe versus Trentino, the middle blocker is the part that clearly Trentino is better. I mean, in terms of quality and players. Of course, Lucarelli have more name or titles than Semeniuk or Sligwa, but in this season, we are seeing that these two men want to prove something more, and of course, Kaczmarek is not Nimir, but he can do some damage when he is inspired. So this will be pretty close, but I still think that Trentino has the upper hand, and not it's because they are playing at home soil. It is because one thing. Trentino will play LUBE now, and if they succeed, they will be in the finals of Italia Championship, and they will have more quality games than ZAKSA have. So as you say, it's a final, one single game. Everything can happen, but I'm still believe that Trentino will come winner of this Champions League, and I don't think that it will be necessarily a 3-2 game. Can be a 3-0 or 3-1 if Nimir and Lucarelli, especially Lucarelli, decide to play some quality game. That's pretty much it. For Poles, this team give them hope, but we will not mistake hope by the reality. Trentino is designed to win at least one title this season, and we hope that for the love we have for the Italian Serie A comes victory 1st of May. Thank you very much.
First of all, in my opinion, to call Tonuti decent is a little bit of an insult for him. I mean,
I'm being humble, but he's at the same level of Gianelli. Maybe he's not good at blocking, but I think
of course. But this is too physical.
I think he's better at think because he has more experience.
More experience.
But at
for sure,
and blocking, Gianelli is better. That is put it in that perspective.
Yeah, of course. Let's mention that that this is also due to his height, because he's only 183, if I believe. For me, the example of ZAKSA is mostly in the fact that they have in ZAKSA the star is the team. For me, if we call some stars in the team, it's not like more teams like we have one or two great spikers and they are the stars like in LUBE, for example, or in Zenit. If we have to name stars, it will be the setter and the libero, I believe, because they are the ground of everything that happens. Zatorsky organizes the reception and the defense, and Tonuti organizes the whole game in attack and counter-attack. So I believe that these are the stars in the team, and that's very important in ZAKSA. And let's mention just one thing of Zenit, because I need to mention that I criticized Mikhailov for his game in the last 2 seasons, but what he has shown in the match against ZAKSA, the second leg especially, and especially after 25-24 in the fourth set, his overall attack efficiency, attack successfulness, not efficiency, in the game is 68%. 68% for opposite is absolutely monstrous. But this is for the whole match. This is for the whole match. Maybe he has 90% after 24 in the fourth set, which is absolutely unbelievable for an opposite.
And I'll most of that attack were with 2 blocks, so were with 2 men blocks. So and high ball, it is hard to spike out those balls coming from the 2 meter line and not mistake one single time.
Yeah.
So, it is impressive.
I believe that from 25-24 for ZAKSA, three consecutive match points, 3 consecutive balls to Mikhailov, and he converted them all. So okay, enough for ZAKSA. It seems that they are absolutely on fire in this in this season. And after the match on Wednesday, I believe that Vital Heynen won't have any problems for deciding his outside hitters for Tokyo, of course, without to mention, I hope not that there will be injuries or something like this. So I believe that Slivka and Semenyuk should be in the team, at least taking into account there for now. Okay, let's go to Trento, and I give the floor to Nicola, because that's how things work here.
Okay, well, as we know, the Italian derby and the derby with Trento reaching the final. I didn't expect those two kind of games at the beginning. Especially the first leg was a total surprise to me. I didn't expect Trento to win it 3-0 in 1 hour and a quarter. In that game, collectively, Trento played a good game, and they show what is their strength in that last part of the season, in my opinion, their greatest strength. And we may say that in game one, except for Production, who was been lethal all game long, none of the other players of Trento has been consistent for 3 sets. But every set had a different players who Giannelli could rely on. Lucarelli and Micheletto in the first, Podrascini, as we said, and Lisinat in the second, and of course Dimir in the third. On the other half of the court, the only reliable weapon for Travista was Terhorst, because Leon and Ploniski underperformed. And that was the greatest problem for Heynen, because on paper, their backup is Terhorst itself, which is already on the court playing as an opposite, because despite having 4 opposite rosters, Heynen decided to play Terhorst, as we know. So when the 2 outside spikers from Perugia play at such a low level, it's a huge problem for the team, and it would be a huge problem for any other team to play with just one weapon, especially if that weapon is not Leon, as it happened for most of the season for Perugia, but is Terhorst, who's actually played, I think, a good semi-final, both in the first and the second leg. Sorry, I keep on hitting my microphone. And that's it. The first leg was surprising, but more surprising for Perugia than for Trento. Even if we remember that the same thing happened in the quarterfinal against Modena. The problem for Perugia is that Trento is not Modena, and the second leg, it has been shown. I mean, the first 2 sets of the second leg look exactly like the Coppa Italia. I mean, it was like watching the Coppa Italia semi-final. Perugia dominated them from beginning to end, and Trento could do nothing. Perugia had great serve, excellent reception, total control of the game. But then in the third set, Trento somehow was able to recover instead of drowning in the water like they did in the end of January. And from they were actually 18-15 down in the third set. Then Abdelaziz found a point that, to me, completely changed the game, because it attacked from behind the 3-meter line without jumping, with Solé telling his teammates not to block. So they organized a total defense without blocking. Still, Abdelaziz was able to score, and to me, that changed the momentum. Trento won the set, and that killed Perugia's mood and boosted Trento's one. In the fourth set, the one that decided the two-leg semi-final, because Trento just needed to win 2 sets to get the ticket to the final, Perugia completely melted. 14 mistakes. Out of the 25 points of Trento, the fourth set, 14 were mistakes by Perugia, and some of them were very silly for such high-class players like the one in Perugia. And maybe for the first time this season, definitely for the first time this season, Leon wasn't a factor for Perugia in none of the 2 games. I mean, in the third set and the fourth set in Perugia, they won. The Trento won. Leon attacked with 40%, 41%. So it's very hard for Perugia to try to recover from the first loss if Leon is not doing the Leon things it usually does.
It's very hard for Leon to have carried Perugia every time they go to the court. I know this can sound rude, but it is the truth. If Leon have to perform it and score 25 plus points per game every single time that Perugia play, they are doomed. And we are talking this since the beginning of the season. You, Nicola, you, Bogdan, me, we are talking about that this Perugia team only has one star or one key player. If Leon now got coronavirus, what will happen with Perugia? 3-1, 3-0. No, I mean, not with Monza, of course, but
Probably with Monza too, because Monza beat them in one of the matches in the regular season. So it's
in both matches actually.
both
Both
matches
3-0 for Monza. Yeah, 3-0 and 3-0.
Yeah, and I would like, firstly, we had a podcast before with the title "One Leon is Not Enough," and the second thing I just want to mention in terms of numbers, because Leon had 7 points scored in the first match. This is something the listeners or the spectators need to write down, because this is not going to happen again. It's 7 points in a match for Leon. This is unbelievable. He didn't score an ace. All 7 points were from attack, and I believe that with the efficiency of something like maybe 15% and successfulness around 40%. So this was not Leon, but when also Plotnitsky is not delivering, it's very hard thing to do. By the way, it's interesting. I understood the end result from the second leg because nobody cared for the tiebreak. I understood what the end result was today. So this is explanatory.
They even sent Sosa to the court to do bad receptions. As always, damn, that dude, come on. You have the opportunity to play at least one tie break, and then you receive float serves like that. Come on, man. Come on. So yeah, as Nicola say, after the third set, I believe Perugia lost all the momentum that they had, and this end into the elimination of the Champions League. I believe that if they could play a little better the first game, but it happened the same thing that happened with Modena. They played a terrible bad first game, and this time Achilles didn't show up. So yeah. You can't do the same twice, man. Especially with this Trentino team, which has so many stars, and not with Modena, because we all know the situation Modena is this particular year. So Abdel, Lucarelli. One thing is for sure, Leon, if you see the numbers, play better than Lucarelli and Nimir, but the two of in attack percentage, I mean,
two sets. If you take away the first and the second set into second leg, overall Leon had a percentage counting the 3 sets in Trento and the third and the fourth in Perugia of 39 overall.
No, but we will not take into consideration the first game, because what an absolute massacre, even Leon,
okay, you were talking about the second leg.
In the second leg,
okay,
Leon was
definitely
playing better. Leon was playing better, and many Brazilians are commenting, no, Lucarelli. How you can say that Leon is the best player in the world if he's not even the best, even best than Lucarelli? Come on, man. Lucarelli has a team. Leon doesn't have a team. So I don't see Lucarelli this season. I didn't see this season carry the team a single game. Maybe you, Nicola, because you follow more the game. I believe maybe in the quarterfinal now, because we are talking about Berlin, but he carried the game maybe 1, maybe 2 times. All the hard work is for Nimir most part of the time. I mean, do you think that Lucarelli in this year particularly, when he lost his father and such, could have been carry Perugia like Leon do alone? For me, I don't think so. So I don't know, you guys, what is the perspective of this topic?
No other player on planet Earth probably could have done what Leon has done for Perugia for 3.5 months. I mean, especially if you take into account that Heynen seems to sabotage his team constantly, because the one who has been putting under the spotlight here in Italy is Heynen itself. It has some, how can I say, some solutions that are not solutions, but more problems for his team. I mean, the opposite situation for the past 2 months was something that clearly affected Perugia a lot. And Podrashanin, at the end of the game, in an interview with the local broadcaster in Perugia, said that Trento played with more confidence, knowing that Atanasievich will not play in the 2 games. And if you look carefully, Heynen has been progressively losing his team, and maybe also is the trust of his players. I don't know if you remember, but even in the group stage, in the second round they played in Perugia. Of course, maybe it was the first, but it doesn't matter. In the group stage against Tours, there was a timeout where Travitha basically said, "Shut up and go away to Heynen." In the first leg in Trento, while the 2 team was changing their half court after the second set and for the beginning of the third, Heynen was trying to say something to Plotnitsky, who kept on walking, looking at him to say, yeah, of course, keep talking, I don't care. So I see those next 2 games, I mean, 2 series for Perugia, the semifinal against Monza and eventually the final against one between LUBE and Trento in the...
Whoever win the Trentino versus Civitanova series will be the winner of this edition of Serie A. We are not talking about that Lyon is not capable of winning at least 1 or 2 games. We are not saying that, but with all the problems that this coach Vital Heynen has inside of his locker room, it's hard to any coach to fight with that. We see what happened with the Georgie, and he won really great things with Civitanova, and that didn't even care. You don't have the relationship with the big bosses of your team. We are talking about, I don't know, Juan Torena, Leal, or the Checo maybe, and it's over for you. It's over. And of course, like, I didn't appreciate the move that Civitanova did at that time. I think they had to in some kind to work things out maybe, but and wait till the end of the season. But it is what it is. They have planning to hire Blangini a long time ago, and they accelerate the. I mean, they did it fast, more sooner than it was expected. And about this Perugia team, if the only thing that they can bring next season is Matthew Anderson or a new coach, it will be the same. Because the problem with this team is the setter, for me, the setter, and the second oxide hitter. You have testing how much opposite this season? Like 3. Atanasievich doesn't play, is injured. Musei, Terhorst, you have Sharon on bench. So come on, four opposites, and none of them really works. I don't think so. I think it's more with the fact that the setter Travica is not a suitable one for this team, and I talked that once, and I'll talk it again. So yeah, sorry.
Yeah, this opposite problem for me is, it's like I'm going to impress, to imitate, because today started the F1 season started today. So like Fernando Alonso used to say, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous, because because you have probably one of the best opposites. Okay, he's injured, he's not in shape, but you have Vernon Evans. I mean, Vernon Evans is not Atanasievich, but is still a okay opposite. Okay, sometimes it doesn't work, and you can try with Terhorst, but he's not playing it. Okay, Terhorst, you chose Terhorst. Okay, let's be Terhorst. Even if you have already two after the recovery of Atanasievich. Okay, you choose Terhorst, but you are not satisfied even with that. You took Muzai, and you have three opposites and a fourth playing. You tried with Muzai, it didn't work, and now we have three opposites on the bench, and an outside hitter is playing as an opposite, and there is no way in which this is not going to hurt the team's confidence and the relationship from the players to the coach. I like, in principle, I like Heynen as a coach, but I believe that in this case, I don't know how he did it. I mean, this is unbelievable for me, because this is clearly hurting the team and the trust from the players to the coach.
And their confidence also, because if Vernon Evans, who's just been brought in as a backup for Atanasievich, then get us the fourth string opposite after an outside hitter and a guy from Poland you brought in just for the last 5 matches, who played terrible Muzai in the time Heynen gave him against Trento. So yeah, they have to solve it if you want to reach at least the final.
Practically, you say him, man, you're nothing. You suck. I mean, but in first place, why do you need to take him in the team after you're not going to use them if the first choice opposite is not playing? I mean, this is
he's been spending Circe money all the season, so it doesn't matter at this point. I think one fellow player, friend of mine, of course, say, man, this team of Perugia, it's designed for make Circe waste his money. Basically, he's throwing money, paying all the salaries of the player, and even hire more players that he doesn't need, because you didn't need Musai in the first place. You could single put, okay, Oleg, you are playing bad, my friend. Get out. Come Terhorst, play with Leon, and give the Sharon young one an opportunity to play, to develop. If you we all know that Atanasievich wasn't coming back from his injury, so why you hire a young opposite like Sharon? You have other option. You have the money, because Sharon is promising. Okay, promising. Put it on the game. Put it 1 game, 2 games. He was decent in the first part of the season. Then I don't know what happened. He got injured. Okay, you don't play no more. So come on, man. You are cut the progression of a young player like that without reason. So
okay, let's continue with firstly the CEV Cup Final, the Russian derby, Dynamo Moscow and Zenit St. Petersburg, with Dynamo Moscow winning in both matches, winning the cup as well, with Tsvetan Sokolov leading the team, with Yaroslav Podlesnik and the surprise for me, Semishev. And we should also mention here that the star opposite of Zenit St. Petersburg, Poletaev, didn't play due to knee injury. So it was much tougher for the team of Zenit, and especially in the second match playing in Petersburg. Sokolov didn't perform in the best possible way, but he was substituted in his attack efficiency from Podlesnik and especially Semishev. I believe that this is pretty much a deserved cup for Dynamo, and they are also the leaders from the regular season in Russia as well. So it's not a surprise that they're performing that good. Have you watched any of them of the matches?
I saw the second one in Zenit. I don't know how is the coronavirus law in Russia, but they don't care about it. So we all know that some countries has his own vaccine. They don't buy the usual ones. So, but still, I don't know if I think Nicola saw what happened yesterday a little bit. For the first time in almost 2 years, I saw a full pack crowd hall. So it was a decent party, with the Russian way. I didn't like the young lady at the end singing that funeral song, but it is what it is, how Russian wastes his money. So about talking about the game, I mean, Sokolov, it was impressive, but he converts the important balls, as you know, in the end of the sets. He was all the game followed by the blocking system of Zenit St. Petersburg, especially Dmitry Yakolev, a good, decent middle blocker from Russia. We all know it from the BNLs and stuff. And
Ivan Yakovlev.
Sorry,
Dmitry Yakovlev is I believe,
is the son of Roman Yakovlev.
the son of Roman Yakovlev. He played one season even in Bulgaria.
Okay, but what really impressed me is that Anton Semishev, which is an outside hitter of 2 meters 1, I believe, was impressive yesterday, and he only has 23 years, I believe. He's 98 born. He was making side outs like crazy. I mean, 71% in 74%. No fear. Come on and get it. He only have 4 errors. 4 errors. Nobody could block this dude yesterday. And of course, the other outside hitter, he did his thing, but not so impressive as Semishev. And you have the next setter of the Russian national team for me, Pavel Pankov, doing great damage, especially in the fourth set with 3 consecutive aces and the one that closed the game, MVP, of course. On the other hand, I knew that something wasn't wrong when I didn't see Poletaev. This is really bad news for this Zenit Kazan that was built for winning the league, but I don't think that will happen this season. Camejo is old, and he wasn't gonna create the turnaround, and he did what he could, but everyone knows that the chances of this team was to give the ball to Kliuka and create an opportunity. Unfortunately, this didn't happen. So we have Dynamo Moscow after many years with a title. They already won the Russian Cup, I believe.
Yeah. Against Zenit St. Petersburg. Yeah.
Zenit St. Petersburg. So and now we have the finals of the Russian Super League.
Nicole, something about this team? Okay, no, no, not interested in Russian volleyball, at least in the club level. Okay, in order to make a slight transition again to Italy, Milano won the Challenge Cup 2021 with two tiebreak wins against the team of Ziraatbank from Turkey. And what I can say here is, firstly, that it's absolutely clear for me, obvious that Milano has the better class here because they have the better players as a team in general, and only the skills of Wouter Termat, the Dutch opposite of Ziraatbank, and the Bulgarian Martin Atanasov, who, by the way, and I'm not saying that because I'm a Bulgarian, but his numbers in both matches were on a very high level. I mean, both matches more than 50% in attack, especially the second, I believe it was 60 something in attack, plus 50 positive reception. I liked a lot how he attacked pipe. I believe especially it was in the first game. Not sure because I watched partly both games, but it just wasn't enough. I mean, it's interesting. They led in both matches 2-1, but they lost both matches in tiebreak. So with Patry, we know all these guys with Patry, Urnaut, Ishikawa, and Kozamernik. This is especially for Andrea Woketa is Kozamernik. It's not something different he used to say in the broadcasts in Rai Sport, and Sbertoli, who, in my opinion, I believe I mentioned that once, that he's Italy's number 2 setter at the moment. So it was pretty normal. I believe that even I'm a little bit, even though I think Ziraat is number 1 in the Turkish championship, but okay, Turkish championship is not that. It's not that serious. They are a good team, but of course, when you compare it to even to a middle tier team in Italy, it just doesn't work.
The first title for this organization of Milano, and in his history, and with the things are going on, will be the only one, unless they play again the Challenge Cup or the CEV Cup. Yeah, as you mentioned it, Atanasov should have been the second outside hitter of Verona this season. Maybe with him, they will turn around the things a little bit, but we all know he is not the kind of outside hitter that passing. His passing capabilities are not that great. So, but he is a good offensive player. So yeah, and Termat, of course, and Van Garderen, the 3 foreigner players of this Ziraat organization, they really play well. But when we see the contribution of the Turkey players, I mean, they are not the best Turkey players even in Turkey. So I will have to give the credit in that perspective to the Fenerbahce team, which play a Champions League. But again, this is all points of view. We all know that Milano was the favorite coming into this series of 2 games, and they should have closed it in the second game, in the fourth set, and didn't happen. So sorry, in the I mean, they had should won for me 3-1. No 2 tie breaks like they did. I think they will a little bit how do you say it? Not discipline. Not. I mean, forget it. They should have won sooner than they did. So yeah.
But at the end, they were good. They were good. Good to able to regroup, because actually, after winning the first leg 3-2, they need at least 2 sets to go to the golden set, and they were trailing 2-1 in Turkey and down by 4 points in the fourth set. But somehow Milano managed to win the fourth and then to dominate the tiebreak. Where something happened that I didn't understand. The referee with the game in the fifth was 12-6, I think, for Milano. They awarded the point to Milano. Sbertoli went to the service line, made an ace, and after they made an ace, the referee stopped the game, and the game stopped for 4 or 5 minutes without anything changed. I mean, who has Bertoli set again? It was 13-7 as it should have been. But congratulations to...
At that point, he didn't care too much. So
yeah, maybe the Piazza a little bit, especially after what happened in the quarterfinal of the Italian playoff. But congratulations to Milano, that well deserved. They win the CEV Challenge, the CEV Challenge Cup, which is the 28th title for Italy in this competition, who is rolling over everyone else in the palmarès.
So we have in Challenge, we have an Italian team coming out as the winner. In CEV, we have a Russian team coming up as the winner. And what will going to happen in the Champions League, it could be a Poland or Italian team. So pretty decent distributions in this.
No Italian team in the CEV. Or it could have been...
It could have been Trentino, but they won the preliminary.
Yeah, the preliminary.
Yeah.
Actually, Dynamo Moscow was the team who lost the preliminary round against Trentino. So...
Yeah. Pretty decent distribution, but let's go to the Italian playoffs. At the end, eventually, no surprises there. Top 4 teams qualified for the semifinals: Perugia, Monza, LUBE, and Trento. But how did that happen? Because in the Perugia case, we had a match, the first match against Milano, they lost 2-3 in a tiebreak. They led 2-0, but they lost in a tiebreak. Ronnie, I believe, mentioned that it was some kind of a magic how Milano won that game. This is because we talked about Perugia for a bit, not for a bit, for long in the Champions League part. But in this first match, Musa played, and day after only Terhorst is playing. So this was very interesting case. But in the second and the third match, almost easy wins for Perugia, even though in the second match Milano won the first set, and they after 6 sets in a row for Perugia. Do you believe that we need to comment a lot on that, because we know that Milano played decently, but still Perugia, even with all these problems, with the opposite problem with Leon not performing always on the Leon level.
Well, they win pretty comfortably, I think. I mean, it's so surprising how they lost the first game, because they were easily leading also in the third set, I think, for as much as 4 or 5 points. And then they had one of those blackouts that lately, unfortunately for Perugia, are happening. But then in Milano, despite, there have been a lot of discussion for a point awarded to Perugia in the third set when Milano was leading the 2 or 3 points for a fault not sanctioned on Travița. When then Piazza has been sent off from the game, and Perugia won, but it was just 1 point over 20-25. I don't think it changed a lot, but it spread some controversy here in Italy. Other than that, Perugia don't have too much problem winning it. Even in the third game, they're leading from the start to the end. So that's it, basically.
Okay, maybe we talked enough about Perugia and Milano for now, so we're going to talk about them again in the next episodes. Monza Vibo. Monza is true after 2-1 wins, 3-1 for Monza in the first match, 0-3 for Vibo in the second match, and a drama in the last match with a tie break with Vibo missing a match point. I really need to mention that because it was 13-0 in the tie break, and there was a pretty hard, pretty difficult video challenge against Monza. So they lost the video challenge, and it was a match point for Vibo going into the semifinals. Davide Saita, the setter of Vibo, went to the serving line, and he put a float in the middle of the net. So with all of that, all the momentum in this, all the negative energy, the negative spirit went from the court of Monza to the court of Vibo, and I was absolutely sure that they're going to lose the match, and they lost the next and the point after that, and they lost. So it's 16-14 for Monza, and Monza is true unbelievable match of Piacenza, and even if they lost the match, absolutely unbelievable match for Torre de Falco, the outside hitter of Vibo, who ended the match, I believe, with 68% in attack out of 30 attacks, which was pretty impressive.
For everyone, we saw for the, I mean, not for the last time, but for the last time in the quarterfinals, this Vivo Valencia team that has been one of the best since the creation of the organization. I don't know, it's because the coronavirus pandemic that they took a chance and become something that we didn't expect it at the beginning of the season. But yes, unfortunately, things don't last forever. So for the next season, this team will essentially, all the key players will be in other teams like the Falco in Poland and Abubakar Drameneto in France. So yeah, but in addition, they will hire some Olympic champions for the squad. So it will be interesting, as always, counting with the Brazilian talents. So yes, unfortunately they had it. They lose it, like Milano had it in the second game versus Perugia, but it is what it is. You don't take advantage of those small opportunities, you lose. This is volleyball. You can't be one time winning by 2 points, and then like in the Dynamo Zenit, you can receive a turnaround. So yeah, it is what it is.
Okay, LUBE Modena. Luciano De Cecco and Joan Di Leao diagnosed with COVID, and Modena still succeeded in winning only one set. How do you comment that one? 3-0, 3-1, and LUBE is true. No care, no problem.
I need to start doing some diligence, to construct or make a stone statue of Simon in Civitanova or in the national team hall in Havana, because I mean he played like an opposite or outside hitter in the series. Then you have Juan Torrena playing really well, and of course Camille doing his thing. And come on, we have to give credit to Kovar. He did some Kovar things. He defend, he receive, he makes some blocking points. I'm here, guys. Hire me next season. So and it was a disappointing series for sure for Modena. who has been struggle all the year with inconsistency. One time Vettori comes and play a super game. Like it was
One time.
one time. Yeah, of course.
We
it
need to
comes-
mention that. I mean, we need to mention that Vettori played once for the whole season, once.
It comes and goes, and this is have been the problem with Vettori career, that it comes and goes. And of course, I expected more from the this guy. I don't know his Lavia, but
Lavia.
okay, he's a young player. He's not a super talent, and he will be good when he comes to his age. I mean, maybe 3-4 years, maybe he can be someone important to Italian national team or in Italian volleyball. But for now, it is what it is. Bad performing for Patrick was a silent player during the series. He didn't really show up so much, and this team will be disbanded, of course, and next season we hopefully see a more competitive team than this right now, with the addition of Bruno Engapet and Joan Di Leal. But I think it will be not enough if the other teams like Piacenza, who is coming back to be a strong force in Italy, LUBE or Trentino, or even Perugia, higher with more with more strength. But for now, goodbye Modena. I hope you win the fifth place playoff. They are the favorites, of course, to win it. And with that, you have the chance to play Champions League in the next season. If you don't play Champions League next season, I don't think Katia Pedrini will spend a single penny playing CEV Cup, because we saw in the past how Italian teams skip this competition because it is not relevant for them. So yeah.
Okay, lastly, Trento Piacenza, and again to Nicola. With Trento qualified 3-2, 3-1, both matches, both wins, and I would say some of the players of Piacenza underperforming. And I read today that Russell was actually injured in the first set of the second game.
Who? Grosser.
Russell.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, as you mentioned, Trento secured a spot in the semifinals, closing the series in 2 games. They won game 1 3-2, and it wasn't as close as the result might suggest, because Trento easily won the first set, lost the second by a break point, and in the third, they blew a 19-15 lead and lost it 22-25. Great credit to Antonov's serve in that set, who piled up, I think, 6 break points for Piacenza in a row. Then Trento regrouped, won the 4th set without problems, and in the tie break, it was a contention until the 5-4. Then led by Podrasharin and Lucarelli, Trento won it 15-8. So the sets that Piacenza won was disputed ones. The set that Trento won it clearly without a lot of problems, actually. In game 2, ended 3-1 for Trento. Piacenza was able to scratch a set thanks to the good job of blocking and receiving in the second set. Still, they needed advantage to win that set 27-25. Also, as you mentioned, Russell didn't play the game. It basically stayed on the ground for the first 6-7 points, and then it was subbed off, and Antonov was eventually subbed in. Trento kept a pretty good level in attack and reception for almost the entire game, and as usual, put a lot of pressure from the service line. And Nemir was the MVP with 27 points. But it was a great game by Lisnath too. Maybe its best in the past 5-6 games. Even so, the most impressive player on the court that night was Musavi. I had some, how can I say, I wasn't that convinced of him coming to Italy because of the very low level that the Iranian players has shown in the Superliga from the past years. I'm talking about Maruf, Ghafour, Gahemi, and those players that may have come here and came here. But Musavi scored in game 2 against Trento, 16 points, 2 aces, 2 blocks, 92% attacking in the center. Incredibly, in the 4th set, Baranovic almost didn't feed him. So that was the main problem for Piacenza. As we said and we've discussed about all season long, they're a collection of great players, but they don't play as a team. Most of them look disconnected in the first leg. In the tiebreak of the first leg, Trento was up 5-4. Then Piacenza had the ball to make it 5-5. Baranovic set it terribly to Grosser, who hit the antenna, so that point went to Trento. And you could see in the replay, Grosser looking at Baranovic like, come on, man, set it decently, that ball, so I could spike and score points. And that wasn't looking good for Piacenza, even in game 2. Doing it without Russell, would have been very difficult. Doing it without him would have been impossible, especially if we take into account that Clevenot didn't perform that well.
And Grosser, yeah.
Yeah, Grosser did what he could, but at a certain point, it was 3 men blocking against him, basically. So I had very few chances to go through the block.
Grosser has 36 years old. He's been playing inconsistent all season long, and due to the fact, of course, that he has been with trouble with some minor injuries all the season. So, and this team was designed by the previous coach of the Piacenza, who was fired in the first legs of the Superliga. So I believe they still have chance to become something great like the Piacenza things in the past. But you need to let Bernardi work, do his pre-season like the gods demands, do it with patience, look out for the best talent possible. We are talking about a team that has a strong sponsor and want to invest in the volleyball despite the financial crisis that is happening right now because of the pandemic. And yeah, for me the next season will be more interesting to watch this team of Piacenza and look out for other team, because they if they succeed in the preseason of hiring key players and such, they can be top 3 easily with the now almost exit of Lucarelli. It's not sure 100%, but if thing goes like we think will happen, Trentino will suffer another. Let's wait and see what happens. For now, Piacenza do his best, and it didn't happen as we mentioned it in the previous podcast.
Yeah,
actually there are more chances for Lucarelli to stay in Trento than to leave. For us, the things has been going in the past 2 weeks. We will see, but right now it's more likely for him to stay than to leave.
Louis will pay 120K to take out Micheletto from that team, So
yeah, they could take the fountain in the main plaza if they want, also, and add some money from it. I don't know.
Yeah, the Neptune Fontaine. Yeah.
Esatto.
I love this fontaine in Trentino. It's very very nice place. Okay, this is another topic. By the way, I would like to mention something about Antonov. I have always said that his serve biomechanically, this is the serve. I mean, his jump serve is like the textbook. If you open a volleyball textbook, and probably you're going to find the Antonov jump serve here, in terms of biomechanics. Okay, I believe this is all for the playoffs. With just to mention that the semifinal playoffs with a possible fourth and fifth game are going to be played from 27th of March until the 11th of April. Of course, it's possible that only three games will be needed, but let's hope that this is not going to be the case, and we're going to have even to have more interesting battles. I just missed to mention that the women's Champions League final is going to be very surprisingly between Imoco Volley Conegliano and Vakifbank. The only surprise, telling that seriously, is that Vakifbank lost their first match against Bustor Situ, but they won easily the second 3-0 as a guest. Interestingly, they lost as hosts, but easy peasy in the second game, and Conegliano and Vakifbank will play in the final in Verona on the 1st of May. This so-called super finals in the Champions League.
I'm regarding to the Serie A playoff, I think it will be decided in 4 games, the series of Perugia and Monza, and we could possibly expect a 5-game series between Civitanova and Trentino, especially because they don't have Civitanova don't have the right now the firepower to win in three games, and Trentino is not a soft team, so they will take advantage, not like Modena, the fact that Leal comes from a quarantine, and the Checo is still with the
it tested negative a couple of hours ago.
But it will be really close, because when you don't play or train with your team,
clearly
3 weeks or 2 weeks, it's hard to come. So
sure.
Yeah, let's see if I think the first game on Sunday will be key to LUBE trying to extend the series. But if we see a Trentino victory on Sunday, it will be a catastrophic outcome from LUBE, and will be really hard to come back, because in Trentino things this season had been pretty much with Trentino wins. So yeah, let's see what happens. Let's see what Trentino can do in the first game.
Okay, I believe that this was enough for today. I would suggest to make the next episode of the podcast after the semifinals in Italy. That means after the 11th of April. 11th of April is what it is, a Sunday. So that's how it works. Yeah.
I know it's not relevant, but we can also add the first post to the. I will not watch those games particularly, but we can comment as part of of the. Because we will comment 2 series of game. We can do that pretty much in half hour. So
Okay.
but we are not talking about all the first quinto posto playoff, maybe the finals or something like that.
Yeah, of course. It's going to be hard to follow them in terms of watching because there are a lot of matches. But yeah, of course, we're going to mention them for sure. And I would like to thank you again for being the experts today in our podcast, both in Italian and in Champions League. For Nicola, not that much for CEV Cup, but anyway. Okay, thanks again to the listeners for listening to our podcast. It's becoming longer every single time, I believe. I would like to mention to you again that you can follow us in Facebook and Twitter, with YouTube, and wherever do you want to follow us, because we are almost everywhere. And of course, to listen us also the next time. Bye bye from now, and have fun, enjoy, and be healthy.